hopefully.
Yay!
Hey,
Good morning, Taylor.
Michelle, hi. It's so good to see you.
You too.
Yeah.
I didn't know what angle I was going to be on here. Let me move this so I'm oriented this way.
Okay, yeah, we can give it a second here and have some people join us.
Okay.
And I'll just say welcome to the Chakra Talk Series. This is our second talk for the Sacral Chakra.
Ooh.
And I'm excited to have Michelle join us for her expertise and how it ties together with the sacral chakra. I'll go ahead, Michelle, and go into your bio, and then we can just flow into conversation and go from there.
Sounds great.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so welcome, Michelle. Michelle O'Neill is a sensuality expert. She's the co-owner of the Pole Studio, Pole and Aerial Fitness of Southwest Florida, located in Bonita Springs. She's a certified embodiment and S-Factor instructor. And so Michelle was first introduced to the bliss of pole dancing when she took an introductory class at Sheila Kelly's S-Factor studio in New York City. Enamored by the fluidity, strength, and grace she witnessed during an instructor demonstration, she immediately signed up for the Signature Journey classes. Michelle embarked on a movement path that lit her up inside while awakening a soulful sensuality. After studying the movement as a student for almost 2 years, it was clear to her that it was time to train to be a certified S-Factor instructor. And we're going to go into more on what S-Factor movement is and all that in a bit here. So, and how it's tied to the sacral chakra as well. So Michelle wanted to spread the joy of pole dancing with other women while teaching them to love their bodies. She has been sharing the gift of feminine movement with women as an instructor since 2007, teaching S-Factor in New York City, Long Island, and Westchester County, New York, and now Southwest Florida. In 2016, Michelle relocated to Naples, Florida, and was thrilled to become an instructor and co-owner of Pole and Aerial Fitness. In addition, Michelle loves assisting S-Factor founder Sheila Kelly in leading weekend retreats all over the U.S. She is grateful for the opportunity to express herself through dance and eager to guide any woman who wants to learn more about feminine movement. And a little bit personally from me, in terms of working with Michelle the past 2 years, it has truly led me to embracing deeper realms and like discovering deeper realms of my sensuality. And then also greater acceptance of my female body and like, in essence, that which makes me woman and accepting that. And it has been a journey of empowerment since stepping into your studio in 2019. So I'm so grateful for that and grateful to have you here today.
Thank you, Taylor. I'm so excited to be here today. It's been such an honor to hold space and witness your journey and watch the transformation that happened for you and to continue facilitating this, you know, literally every day. It's a blessing to be able to facilitate this work.
Yes, yes. And it's amazing to be in your community and to witness all of the transformation and everything that goes on. It's just beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll share a little bit just about the sacral chakra really quick. And so the sacral chakra, it's located in our pelvic region, and it's an energy center in our body that governs the realms of what we're here to talk about. And creativity, it governs pleasure, desire, sensuality, sexuality, and like adventure, like basically everything that brings us pleasure. And so this is so tied into, and so having like a healthy balance of like work and play, or like work and pleasure, having a healthy connection to our inner child. If we, you know, don't have a healthy connection to our pleasure or that which brings us pleasure, we can develop potentially develop addictive behaviors, that kind of stems in the realm of the sacral chakra. And so today I would love to focus on sensuality, because sensuality is such a huge source of pleasure, especially for women. And like, it's not so common to be, well, it is not the norm to be super in touch with sensuality in this society. So I'm excited to dig into that.
Yes.
And we can talk a little bit about S factor movement as well, and kind of introduce that
Sure.
a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just share a little bit of my story. When I first walked into an S Factor studio in New York City, I was completely disconnected from my body and from my sensuality. And I started to connect to both of them at the same time. I won't go too much into, what I was dealing with at the time, but body issues with drinking, issues with trying to use, ADD medicine to cope with life because I was overwhelmed. So I was dealing with a lot of things, and I was having a very hard time, but I didn't even know that I wasn't connected to my body. It wasn't until I saw a room full of other women who were connected to and living in their bodies and in their sensual pleasure that I realized that I was disconnected from my source energy, like my creative life force, like my sexuality, my sensuality, all of that. Totally, it was all just there on the surface. It wasn't like a potent source of joy and pleasure. It was, I'm not even sure I was experiencing real pleasure at the time. I may have called it that or thought it was, but definitely not. So in witnessing these women and having a teacher to guide me, literally class by class, breath by breath, I learned to be with my body. So a lot of it started with self-touch. It's like bringing my hands onto my body and letting my hands bring myself pleasure. I don't think that was something I had ever mindfully done before. So that one experience was revolutionary for me at the time. And now I have that gift anytime I want to be embodied. It's just right there, literally at my fingertips and the arch of my back, in my, it's my body is this gorgeous vessel that I have access to bring pleasure. In any moment I can have pleasure.
Yes, I love that so much. And your story is so powerful, just the amount of transformation you went through and the leader and role model that you are today. It's just so powerful.
Thank you.
Yes. And go.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, and then it evolved. So I started to learn in the room. So S Factor classes are in like a dimly lit room with no mirrors. So there's no judgment. And I learned how to move my body in a curvy way rather than in a linear way, which is more of the way we're taught how to move in the world. So instead, I learned how to sink into my feminine curves and create movement that went with the curves of my body. So that was one thing that happened. But then I started to wake up my sensuality in all domains and start hunting for pleasure, not just in the studio, in those dimly lit rooms, but to go out in the world and literally hunt like a lioness for pleasurable experiences.
Yes. That's like, that like is so parallel to what I've been experiencing since working with you, in terms of how it, like, once we start to embody and embrace that within our own body and experience that, it starts to just like flow effortlessly into like other aspects of our life.
Yes.
Yes. And it's like greater permission. It's greater permission, because usually what we're surrounded by generally isn't necessarily supportive of that in terms of just our productivity values and all that kind of stuff. And so yes, this practice and then this community, it's like greater permission to hunt.
Yes.
Yes. And like welcome these experiences, because this is everything that fills our cup as women. Like it's everything that fills our cup, and it's what fills our hearts and our life force and our ability to be creative, and it's just so beautiful.
Yes.
So with that said, would you like to guide us into a few practices that could maybe help us start to tune in?
Yes. It would be my pleasure. I would love to. I love facilitating these. These bring me great joy. So
wonderful.
I'm going to start by dropping us into our sensuality. So I'll do a little bit of a guided visualization meditation, just to kind of take us to different places in our mind. And then we'll go ahead and anchor it in our body in movement. So the first thing I'll invite people to do is to close their eyes and find a really comfortable sit. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And feel your shoulders melting away from your ears. And then you can bring your hands right over to your sacral chakra domain. So lower abdomen. Just finding a connection there. Just breathing it down all the way into that space. So taking the breath, not just from the, like into the lungs, but down through your belly and like deep down. And even breathe into your lower back if that's accessible for you. And then you can start to imagine this vibrant orange, coral, peach, all these beautiful shades. Think of like 50 shades of orange, like vibrant, maybe tangerine or coral or different shades, whatever inspires you. And imagine that swirling around in your sacral chakra and then emanating out of you. So our sacral chakra not only emanates out, but it receives as well. So think about just kind of sending energy and receiving energy. Both are happening. And then I'm going to take you on a little pleasure journey through our 5 senses. So we're going to start with touch. And you can even do this right now. You can bring your fingertips, like mine are going to the backs of my knee pits, where there's a lot of little nerve endings there. And I'm just doing like a super light hover touch. Now for you, a more pleasurable touch might be a scratch of your nails, or maybe your body wants like a deeper, like a massage, like a squeeze. So I want you to find where your body might enjoy some physical touch. And then give yourself that gift. And then you can experiment. You can press a little harder. You can go a little lighter. You can explore off your original spot. I find the nape of the neck to be really soothing and pleasurable. And then I want you to think of some area of your life that you could invite in more pleasure through touch. So some sort of experience that you would love to have that involves physical touch. Maybe it's the way you would want to be touched by a lover. Or maybe it would be, you know, having a rose tickle over your arm instead of your fingertips. So just think of, conjure in your mind some sort of experience that would be really pleasing. And the last part of the touch exercise, we're going to think about adorning our body with fabrics. We all have to wear clothes for the most part in our society. So think about what kind of fabric would feel really pleasurable on your body. I personally love a fishnet stocking. I love the feeling of putting it on. I love wearing them and running my hands over them. So just think about, for you, maybe it's something light and flowy or silky or lacy or whatever it is, but conjure this piece of fabric in your mind. Just gonna kind of bookmark that there for now, and we're gonna move to sense of taste. So you can kind of just bring your awareness to your mouth for a moment and notice if you can taste anything, what's currently happening there. And then maybe take a little lick of your lips. There might be a little bit of like a salty taste. Just experience what's available there. And then I want you to imagine something that would be super pleasurable to eat. For me, I'm feeling strawberry right now at the moment, but whatever it is for you, it could be a mango or watermelon or whatever it is. And maybe you can even treat yourself to that later, but just imagining living in the space for now. And then the next time you have that food, you can truly enjoy it instead of just, you know, autopilot, putting it in your mouth and not really enjoying it. And then for sense of smell, I want you to think about all the smells that are pleasing to you. What are your favorite smells? Could be buttered popcorn or cinnamon or fresh cut grass or beach breeze smells or pine needles. The smell of fresh fallen snow if you're in the Northeast right now. That's happening. And then when you go out in your day later, we're going to have you hunt for some pleasing smells. And then moving on to sound. So just notice in your space right now, open up your hearing one level beyond where it's at. So there's often like 5 layers of hearing that are available, different sound layers. See if you can open up your hearing to one level beyond my voice. Just to wake up your sense of hearing, and then think for a moment, conjure something that would be pleasurable for you to listen to. Maybe it's an instrument or a kind of music or nature sounds. The beaches lapping on the shore, well, the waves lapping on the shore. And then we're going to move to your sense of sight. So I know that our eyes are closed, so we're living in the space of imagination right now. But think about what is pleasing to your sense of sight. So what's visually pleasing for you? It could be an artfully designed bouquet of flowers. It could be, again, another naturescape. Or glittery platform heels, if that does it for you. Whatever it is, just conjure something to mind that feels pleasurable to look at. And then we're gonna start to move out from this meditation. Just bringing your awareness 100% back into your body. Maybe grounding yourself with some touch, maybe over your heart or the sacral chakra that we've been talking about, and your low back, lumbar spine. Maybe feel the curve of your waist. And then you can flutter your eyes open. Ooh, Taylor, it's fun to watch you go to all those places in your mind.
Oh my gosh, Michelle, that was so good.
Yes. Can you tell us, like, what were some of your things?
It was, yes, just like the touch, the nape of the neck. Like I know the nape of the neck is your thing too.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes. And I just like to like really be present in the like sensuality and like the sensation of it.
Yes.
So good. I love, yeah, just like the smells, the tastes, like it really brings your awareness to the presence of the sensation of the sensuality, and it allows you to like drop in and really take it all in.
Yes. So not only is it awakening our pleasure and our sacral chakra and all of that, is also it's at the same time a mindfulness practice.
Yes. That's why I remember us having a conversation before how sensuality could have like a similar and just as effective as meditation.
So it brings you right into the present moment.
Yes, yes. Brings you to the present moment, and it's just relaxing.
Yes.
And to pleasure.
Totally.
Yes.
So I would love to take us into this next part. I do have a song, and I'd love to lead us through some pleasurable movement.
Yes, I would love that.
Taylor, I picked a song that I know you love.
Yay.
And I love. It's called Lioness.
Ooh.
By SWFL. And me and Taylor are just going to make sure that those of you, my mom popped on the live stream, by the way. Hi, Mom.
Aww.
And I saw Brittany on here too, which is so great.
Oh, hi. Hi, Michelle's mom. And Jenny popped on. Patty popped on.
Awesome. Yes. So I'm going to play this song. Taylor, let me know. Like a lioness. Is it too loud or too soft?
I think that's good. I can hear you good.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to have us come to our feet. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to back this up so you can see me. And we're going to start by really anchoring your feet, coming into a wide stance with your feet about a little bit wider than hip distance. And we're just going to start to draw some small hip circles. So inhaling and then exhaling as you circle forward. Really feel your feet rooted in the earth. Feel that undulation in your hips, releasing your lower back. And then we're going to start to let the hands explore. We're going to give them, what do I call it? An all-access path to our body as we circle our hips. So they can get messy in your hair. Drop down your belly over your pelvis, your inner thighs, your calves. Circle overhead, gorgeous. And we're going to change directions. You can let your circles get a little bigger. Let your body intuitively start to play with the music. So we're going to start to find our way off of those familiar hip circles and find more improvisational, playful movement. Yes. And then finding moments that feel really delicious and letting those moments just get like milked, like really hunting for every ounce of pleasure in the twist of your wrist, in the arch of your back, the stretch through your hamstrings. My music stopped. That's okay, because I could move through silence and my breath and everything, but I think we got like a yummy taste. See, I can't stop. Once that pleasure faucet is on, it's like I get into such a juicy state that I don't want to leave. I want to stay connected to my pleasure. So like even as I could have done that all day. So
yes, that was, oh.
Yum.
So good.
I know, it's like a pleasure break, which we should all take every day. A pleasure, or 10. Seriously,
yes.
10 pleasure breaks a day. I feel so much better even than when we hopped on the call, even though I was feeling pretty good. I feel so much more alive and radiant and juicy and yummy.
Yes, same. I always take so much from your teachings. Even just from doing that movement, I had pain in my lower back and it's like gone.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. I feel, oh my gosh, so much
Just
better,
needed a little
so much
movement.
more. You get me into that place of ease, of flow and ease. And that's one of the reasons too I was so drawn to you as a dancer and a teacher, because through your dancing, your sensuality, it shines through. And you can really see it in your movement. And so I really appreciate you translating that and transmitting that to us here today. And
thank you. And let me actually speak to that point. And I'm going to give you a secret that I'm not sure I've ever given you before.
Ooh.
Or that it never came up in conversation. So it's just another way to think about it. So pleasure, just like any experience, like a roller coaster, it can have like a peak, right? So like pleasure sensation is increasing, it's feeling good. And then we get like kind of full on it. Like we feel satisfied. And then we have to come down. Like if you can only smell so much buttered popcorn, right? Like it's really good for like the first few inhales or whatever. But if you sat there inhaling buttered popcorn for an hour, you'd probably get nauseous, I think, right?
Yes.
So I think one of my skills that I've honed is being able to recognize the moment that the pleasure has peaked. So I ride it all the way to the peak, and then I start to, I let it dissipate and I start to move on and I start to hunt for a different pleasure. So that's what I do with my dancing. And I dance and bring my body pleasure, and I'll do movements until that is not doing it for me anymore. And where I've gotten every ounce of pleasure that I could get from that. And then I search for the next moment or the next part of my body that wants to move, or maybe it's more breath or touch or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's just recognizing when you've scratched that itch and it got satisfied and feels really good, and then continuing your hunt.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yes.
Thanks for the tip.
Yes.
Secret.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome.
I love that, and it all goes together so well. The hunt and the song that we did, Lioness.
Yes, definitely. I liked that combo.
Yes, same. Ugh. Michelle, it was so good to have you here today and to talk with you. Um,
Same.
yes, I'm gonna go. I want to mention how people can find you and contact you. And feel free to add as I go along if you want to add anything.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So the best way to contact Michelle is through her studio website at poleandaerialfitness.net. You can also find Pole and Aerial Fitness of Southwest Florida on Facebook and on Instagram and contact through that way. Michelle teaches a handful of classes each week from beginner to intermediate levels at her studio located in Bonita Springs, Florida. And her studio offers a wide range of classes from spin pole to exotic to contemporary pole, flexibility, aerial, burlesque, S Factor, and more. And then two, I also want to mention for people who are tuning in who aren't in the Southwest Florida area, that's a mouthful. Michelle also offers online virtual lessons too for those not in Florida. So
Yes.
anyways.
And feel free to reach out to me on Instagram also. I'm Dance Pole Love.
Okay, yes, Michelle is also Dance Pole Love, so feel free to contact her that way, send a friend request.
Yes. And the last thing I'll mention is I also teach a dance class called Embody. And through Embody, we dance through 3 feminine archetypes. So the sensual siren, warrior queen, and little girl, actually. So you get to dance through 3 different archetypal energies. And you can learn more about Embody classes online. It's called the Embody Dance Class. So if you're interested in that, and there's lots of online classes that other people teach with that work as well. And I do facilitate that work in person. I only do that work in person, but there are other teachers that do that virtually. But one of them is the sensual siren. So that's why I mention it.
Okay, love it. And do you teach that regularly at the studio now?
Yes, once a month.
Okay.
Yes, and I've been aligning it with the full moon, which is great.
Ooh,
yes,
oh my gosh.
It's been a new addition. So,
all
right, Taylor.
So Michelle, yes, thank you so much for talking with us. It was so juicy, so good.
Keep hunting for pleasure, everybody. More pleasure.
Thank you, Michelle. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.